Good morning. Well, we're going to be doing things a little bit differently in the videos moving forwards. Main thing, say morning, Mrs. TW.
Morning.
And you're supposed to say, morning, Mrs. TW. There's a big thing that, honestly, Elaine's been telling me for a long time. And maybe I've known this in my gut, but part of me was maybe a bit too, I'm just going to keep doing it the way that I want to do it and not listening too much. But I am going to listen. And that main thing is not being sat down doing videos anymore. Instead, I'm going to be stood up. I might be walking around. It might be in the car more often. I might, go for my morning walks and take the camera with me. And then I just want to share the reasons why I'm going to be changing that. Because I've done it for a long time, but I never used to. So I just want to share my insights with you. And this might resonate with you personally, or you might just think, nah, that's definitely not me. I do want to be sat down and in the same spot, every single time I make a video. For me, the big realization is the way I come across energetically. So, and I'm going to be wandering between rooms, by the way. I've just set the coffee machine going. So, for me, I can feel it. When I'm being honest with myself and I look back at my videos of where I'm just sat at my desk and when I set up the office, purposely with the right lights and all the rest of it, I can't get across the importance of things, the intensity of my actual core character, some of the severity, the things that I definitely feel inside of the topics that I'm sharing. I just don't come across as me. And it's a small tweak, but I think it's going to make a big difference. So there's a couple of things. So number one, when I'm doing like voice note feedback and things like this for clients, I pace around when I'm doing the feedback, because I'm talking to a person or two people if we're looking after like a couple in business, and all the best stuff comes out 100%. I can guarantee it. And if any of them are watching this video, they'll attest to that and they'll likely comment. Like, that movement gives me like a thinking engine, to get great ideas out, think about the things that they've asked or that they've shared. And I can't remember who said it. It's something I saw a while ago, but it's so true. As business owners, and I just think as humans in general, but more so for the entrepreneurial types, we're thinking athletes. We're thinking athletes. And for me personally, all my great ideas come out when I'm moving, not when I'm necessarily sat still. Not when I'm just fucking sat still. And I've never been a person that spends a lot of time just sat or not doing anything, like completely immobile. It's not my favorite state to be in. Actually, now I'm reflecting on it and sharing it with you guys even more. So, and I've got the benefit, because the second thing is, I've got the benefit of having, like this Osmo Pocket 3. It's got a gimbal on it. And, modern editing technologies now, if any of the footage was massively unstable, you can just stabilize it in the fucking click of a button, So I don't have to be, at my desk, sat in that chair, with the same fucking background every time. Instead, I can be sort of moving around and just enjoying the process a little bit more. Because there came a point a couple of days ago and I was just like, I've got so much to share, but I'm having to think about sitting in that same place and that same seat every single time. And that, for me, was starting to kill a bit of like creative thought pattern flow as well. So I'm just going to, I like to put a bit of hot water into my mug when I'm making my coffee. And I put the spoon in there as well. Call me strange, but if you've got a cold spoon in your coffee, when you put it in, you start stirring it around after you've added your sugar or whatever else, it makes the coffee a lot colder than you think it's gonna. Have I got enough beans in there? Hold on. Maybe. I might have to set you down for a second, actually. This is going to be interesting. But this is part of it, I think. You know, making these types of videos. I don't want to edit and cut things out. Come on. I'll put a little horseshoe on the bottom because I'm going to put you on the tripod in a second once I've made my coffee. I'll just put the little DJI legs on for the time being. Come on. Fuck me, this is becoming a bigger job than it should be. Oh my God, all thumbs. There we go. Right, you sit there and point yourself at my face. There you go. So, I mean, that's fucking cool to be able to do that, in my opinion. And I trust my technology, maybe more than I should do. We're going with, this is not my usual go-to, but I got bought these, but these are some Starbucks espresso roast beans. They're actually quite tasty. They're actually quite nice. A very oily bean. Have you got a very oily bean? Well, yes, I fucking have. And this is the other thing, right? When I'm sat, this natural, my actual natural cadence of humour and my meandering and my rich tangent don't come out. And I do genuinely and sincerely want people to come to the channel and find my videos and subscribe for the right reasons, which is not, I don't want to be masquerading as this low energy, less than fucking comedic character, when the reality is anybody that knows me, particularly clients that have spent any amount of time with us, they know that this is more me. So, let me just get these beans going. I love this coffee machine. We spin it around. It's Philips. I don't know what model it is. A Latte Go. It's brilliant. Beans in the top. Espresso button. Press play. And then into the Yeti mug. Simple as that. Look how fucking cool that is. Boom, baby. And I'd be an absolute liar. I'd be a liar, pants on fire if I told you that I wasn't putting sugar in and all this other stuff. I fucking certainly do. 1 sugar, and then I put a little bit of this like chocolate flavoured syrup stuff in there as well, because I'm a big fucking sweetie. Now this is the other thing, right? Just thinking while I'm making the coffee, is all of my favourite live videos that I've ever done. I've done a lot sat down, don't get me wrong, but I've done a lot stood up, where the camera was set and then I'd just be like this, not walking around or on a walk outside or anything. I really love those. Really love those. Those were big energy, fun videos to do, and they also got a lot of views. And also, some of my most impactful live videos have been where I've been out of the house, walking, or Elaine and I have been away somewhere, or have been at masterminds and we've been around clients. It's not just been in the same fixed spot every single time, because life doesn't fucking happen like that. You know, we're married, we've got children. The type of business that we run, we're looking after a lot of other people's businesses and helping them with their personal development and their personal lives as well. Like, it kind of takes us here, there and everywhere. And for me to just show up fixated, you know, to a single desk in front of the same lights every fucking time, Christ almighty, I wouldn't watch myself. I think that's something you've got to ask yourself. And these are just micro adjustments, right? These are just micro adjustments for us right now. It's like just little layers of realization of, would I do that? Is that what I watch? Is that what I want to participate in? Is that really the full flavour and full-bodied version, you know, of who you are? And if there's like a a definite no or a slight hesitation, then I think it's worth exploring. So let me take you back over here. One coffee, by the way, one coffee, one espresso a day. That's it for for caffeine intake and stuff like that. So yeah, I'm not. Look at me. I'm fucking sat in the chair that I said I wouldn't sit in. I've not got the lights on. I've just got the top light on in the room, so it doesn't look like I've set the fucking studio up, in a premeditated fashion. And honestly, Elaine was like, "Oh, wait for me to get my drink and my ice out of the fridge freezer and stuff, and let me do this and let me do that." I was just like, "I'm just going to hit record. Don't worry, it's tracking my face. No one's going to be asked about what you're doing in the background." And that's how I want things to be a little bit more, because the other thing that I've noticed is there's like a gap between when I have ideas or have inspiration versus getting to actually talk about it and creating the content itself. And that's exactly why I asked for this camera. So I can just mic myself up, switch it on, flick the screen open and hit record. And away you go. You can tell the story and narrate the thing closer to the moment rather than, oh yeah, and then wandering about in your mind and maybe making notes or asking other people what they fucking think of it. Just fucking hit record. That's one thing I've always said to people. If you've got the time and the opportunity to go straight from that thing that's happened and you get inspiration to recording it, the type of energy that comes out in that versus waiting half a day, 2 days, maybe a week, completely fucking different. Completely different. I can attest to that personally, and I've seen that in other people's content as well. You can sniff it a mile off when it's highly manufactured. Sniff it a fucking mile off. You might be a person that thinks, this just doesn't suit me at all. I definitely want to have everything mapped out, all the stuff I'm going to talk about, blah, 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 blah. Not for me. Like, I prefer to do it this way. I've already got all this knowledge and experience sat up in my head, and it's more inspirational moments that will pull those things out of me rather than sat trying to manufacture a list of topics. Does that make sense? This is going to resonate with some people, and other people you're just going to not fucking like it, but this is what suits me. That's the fucking key thing. It's not me telling you, you have to do this. I've just recognised what I need to do for myself. Dead simple. If you're new to the channel, let's talk about that for a second. If you're new here, my name's Rich. Elaine is my wife. You saw her just right back at the beginning of the video. We've run a business now for 10 years. Yeah, around about 10 years. I couldn't tell you the exact date. I'd have to check places and dates or whatever, but a long time. We've been together a long time. Married, we've got children, run our own businesses, multiple rather, together. And our main business, and where we put the majority of our energy, is into a business of where we help people conquer 3 parts of their life. 3 parts of their life. Typically, they're business people, so they've got their own entrepreneurial outputs, one or multiple. We help them grow that. But sometimes, and more importantly, we help them grow these other 2 parts, these other 2 departments of their life too. And that's their self-growth and the relationship. Because one of the things we've experienced, then we saw a lot of other people experiencing, was they were finding it very challenging to find this harmonious balance or this alignment with those 3 pots. And they might get one really great and other 2 suffer, and then vice versa, or 2 really great and one just absolutely fucking drops through the floor. And we went through that ourselves. And I would say we're pretty determined people, to fix and solve our own problems and issues. And we spent a lot of time doing that. We couldn't quite figure out how we had all this knowledge and we knew what to do in business, but nothing was ever binding. And then we found that basically our personal life was sabotaging everything we fucking tried in our business. That's the fucking truth of it. So then we addressed all of these different departments that we need to look at: ourselves, our relationship, and then the business. And then we found a way to tie them in together. So one wasn't fighting for the most amount of energy or the light, instead brought them all together. And essentially we've coined that the integrated life. And that's what we help people with. That's our main passion, our main drive, the thing that we've been doing the most. And it's only recently, if I'm completely honest, of where we've found the right words to use to describe what it is that we do. We were doing it very intuitively and through like sharing honestly with people. This is what we've tried, or this is the experience we've got in this type of business. Let's try this with yours. Let's create a bespoke, approach to how we consult in this situation. And it's literally just in the last couple of weeks where we've figured out, what we're really fucking good at doing. It's all of this thing and bringing this together, and it's integrated, right? Yeah, it's the integrated life. So that's really exciting. And you see, I don't think this would have come out if I had not been walking around and creating the way that I had been this morning. But if you've tuned in, this is the first video you've seen, welcome to the channel. I try to talk as openly and as honestly as possible, because I think the last thing the world needs, the internet needs, YouTube, all of these fucking places, is like dressed up nonsense, like fakery. I don't want none of that myself. I don't watch none of that myself. I don't want to take part in it. So that certainly won't be, what I'll be putting out here, on our channel. Either the two of us. I'm currently trying to get Elaine to do her first video with me, which will be really exciting because she's got just as much experience as I have in all of those three things that I was just describing. But yeah, that's a little bit about us. At some point right now, we're putting together like an assessment for people. You see, this last 2 weeks of realization has drawn us to a place of where, what can we help people realize in those three departments and how they integrate them together? So we've built an assessment. So it might be in the description of this video, it might be in some future ones where it's literally a free download, like a worksheet, where you can score yourself, and then it'll give you some feedback on what you need to do in order to change, those departments, and then also how to integrate, those three things together. So if you're an entrepreneurial type, you might be single, that's all good. But if you're married, a relationship that you're trying to improve and become the best for each other at, and also you realize how important it is to develop yourself as well, then, just check out the descriptions in some of the videos, because you might be able to, you might see the link to that essentially. Anyway, this has been really great. I appreciate you watching and listening to some of the things that you're going to be we're going to be changing here on the channel. So more walking and talking, less sitting down and creating mundane videos. So cheers to great content and making the internet just a little bit better. See you soon.